What's up, you guys? It's Min, and I am here with a band that I've been a fan of for a very long time, actually. Would you guys introduce yourselves and let us know what you guys do in the band?
My name is Christian, and I attempt to play guitar and sing harmony vocals.
Yeah, I'm Jason. I sing in the band as well.
Yeah, he says he agrees with you. This is not like proper interview etiquette, but I want to share a personal story from me to you guys. I discovered you guys' band a long time ago. I heard it at Hot Topic at one of their listening booths. And then fast forward a little bit, I'm in sophomore year of college. I have a night chemistry course. This is midterm time. And so one night I have to decide, do I go see Acceptance or take the midterm? And I ultimately decided, I justified it by saying, well, you can only take this midterm once. You can see Acceptance next time they come. Fast forward, it didn't work out that way. Fast forward 10 years. And next time they come through town is tonight, so I can't express how excited I am for tonight. It's gonna be awesome.
You were right, that was the right choice.
Yeah, so there's a lot to talk about here, like a lot of time in between. So let's talk about some of the old stuff, some of the in-between, some of the new stuff. I want to throw this your guys' way first. What about Acceptance and what about Phantoms do you guys think it is that, for like people like me, that got hooked and stayed on board for 10 years without a lot of stuff in between? Like, what do you guys think it is there? What was the magic?
I don't know. I mean, I think, well, first of all, I think even addressing that question is almost, it's a challenge for me because it's almost, I feel like we don't deserve to even have that question asked of us, which is like, because it's just, you know, it's not like we're the biggest band in the world or anything like that. So the only thing I can really look at is, I just know that when we made Phantoms, there was such a strong belief in what we were doing, and it really was about, you know, making the best songs we possibly could. I mean, just really everything, every part of every song was like probably overanalyzed, and be like, hey, we can do that better here. You know, let's get some, you know, a better feeling here. And so I think there's a really good dynamic in our band as far as stylistically that I think really comes together. It clashes, but in a good way, right? Like a really nice battle. Anyway,
Any creative process.
it really is, and I think you need that. You know, I think you need those opposites, and so, you know, the passion is what I think kept it going.
Awesome. How about you, Christian? Do you feel that question at all? Like, what, when you look back, like, man, like, how did we get these people to stick around for this long?
That's a great question. You know, I think when this was first taking shape again 10 years later, that was a question we were asking ourselves. It was just like, well, how is it 10 years later, but we seem to be bigger than we were when we were actually a band? So, I mean, I don't really know if that's for us to answer.
Yeah.
I know that we just, like you said, you know, we tried our best to make the best music we possibly could. I can't really say what it was about the record, or because at the time when we were a band and when the record came out, it's not like it was this big groundswell and, like, you know, it wasn't an immediate reaction. It just kind of took many years of people just slowly discovering us to get to this point we're at now.
Yeah, that's kind of cool to hear that you guys are just as lost. Because, like, as a fan, I'm like, there's plenty of bands that have gone away, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna listen to them forever. Just didn't end up that way. But with Phantoms, like, I turned it down this whole week leading up to tonight. So
Yeah, there's definitely like I mean, I think at the time, I mean, we came from a genre for sure, you know, but I think we definitely we have a lot of pop, and there's just a lot of influences from the pop rock type world, the U2s of the world, and these things that influence everybody in the band. I think there was something about some of the songs that you can go back and listen to it. A song like So Contagious, for me, I can listen to that song anytime.
Yes.
And I think that it has these elements of, you know, relatability, and then there's the musical element that is interesting, and there's the vocal element that I think is interesting. And it just, you know, I can go back and listen to that song and go, oh yeah, I still like listening to that song. And the only reason I even ever kind of zero in on this element of the belief and the passion and all this stuff is that I think we were a band that was able to see two sides of the business side along with the creative side. And so as we went into, you know, trying to make a record out of after Phantoms, I definitely felt the business side, in the creative process way more than I ever had before.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that's the business side or the how I want to look, feel, act, think side or whatever you call that, is that when I put that against what I felt when we were writing Phantoms, it was all about making the greatest record, like, sincerely.
Yeah.
This is gonna be the greatest thing anybody's ever heard, right? And I think that's important.
Right.
That's a big part of it.
Right. I think fans see that too. How about leading up to the breakup? Now that we're 10 years removed from what we thought was going to be the end, looking back, did you guys see anything like, oh, like that bothered me so much, but it shouldn't have, or like, would you guys have done anything differently?
Oof. I don't know. I mean, I just think at the time that we decided to kind of call it quits and move on, I think we were all pretty beaten down. I think.
Yeah, from the process of, once again, I mean, we were on a major label and we'd gone to A&R guys, the whole thing. I mean, if there was a story to tell about the worst, the fears of being signed to a major label, it's our story. We have a very, unfortunately, a very sad story when it comes to that case. All the hope and all of this and all of that, it all just, I think there was definitely a frustration there. For me, I was I was really frustrated with the industry in general and the way that music was dictated and how it would, and what you had to do in order to get your music heard and all these different things, and it was pretty frustrating. And we didn't I don't think we were making music that we loved. I think we're just trying to figure out
How to navigate.
Yeah. What's what are we gonna write now that somebody's gonna love?
Right.
We're like, I don't know if it's good or not. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
does it sound like the Foo Fighters? I don't know. It's like.
Right, because it bummed us out too. Because I think it was at that time there's like MySpace and Pure Volume and like bands had a chance. And I think it was you, Christian, that you posted like our singer wants to go a different way. And some of us still want to do music, and it was a bummer at the time, but I guess it all worked out though, right?
It worked out for you.
Yeah. Right. Cool. So since coming back, has it felt like you guys picked up where you left off, or does it feel like a new project?
That's an interesting question.
I mean, 10 years is a long time,
Right.
and we're old men now. We were young, early 20s when we were first doing it. So, I think a lot of us have matured and just become adults. We've become wiser just in the way we handle people, and just carry ourselves, and even how much yourself is so much better.
Yeah.
So I think we come to the table in a lot more mature place, in our own conversations, and it's just like, it does feel like the same old band, getting back together. So it doesn't really feel like a new project, but if there is just like, when we first got back together and started rehearsing to play shows, it was just like, whoa.
Yeah, I was impressed actually.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
It was just like.
Was it like the first chord? Everyone was just like.
Just
there?
getting everybody back together. I mean, they got to hang out before. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, we were doing some photos.
You guys went out to dinner and yeah.
Ah,
The first time, because some of us had not even talked
Right.
for 10 years. So
Right.
Christian was back home and we all got together. The rest of the guys had gotten together, and that was great. But I think musically, I was impressed by, it's a lot. Christian alone, from the time Acceptance broke up, then he joined Amberlin and he went on to a really successful music career, and it was impressive because, all the guys. Garrett is probably the most talented musician I've been around, and so everybody was just at a whole nother level, and that was something that was really surprising in a great way for me. Is when we were practicing, it was like, wow, this is really. And we we prided ourselves as a band when we were playing live to be a good band, and we wanted to be a good live band. But I think musically we grew. I don't know me, I didn't do anything, but these guys.
I remember people would tap into you too. I remember reading I think it was Alternative Press when Phantoms came out saying that you were one of the best vocalists in our scene of our time. I was like, I agree with that too. And people hit you up too, All Time Low and all those guys. So you were dabbling.
There was some dabble.
He peeked from behind the curtain a few times.
Right. I want to talk to you guys about the timing of the reunion. It seems like a lot of bands that I listen to within the scene, they chose now to come back, Under Oath, Thrice, Sailson, and a lot of those guys are saying well, this is not like a full reunion, they're gonna use a different method. Is that the same mindset of acceptance? So they're saying like we're not gonna tour 9 months out of the year.
Well, the touring part I think the reason you see all these bands is because they have the ability to connect with their fans and make music so much. That opportunity is so much easier now. There are like avenues, mechanisms, platforms to release music and do things. So I think that's why it's easy to see bands and more bands. When we got together, this was now over a year ago. There was no relativity to all the other bands that are we didn't really have that in our headset space, and so from that perspective, we just wanted to see what we were like. Let's just play the concert and see what happens. Let's just have that. Let's just do it. And I think the initial feelings we all had were so strong that it just evolved. So for us, it's not really a reunion as much as it's now like, what would acceptance sound like today if they were a band for the last 10 years? And that's what we focus on that. And I think we're fortunate enough to have fans, but also been a band that we didn't make 10 records. We don't have a sound that is set in stone. Some of the artists have made 5 records, and they have a catalog, and you've kind of made a decision on what that band, how you feel about that band, what they are, and bands evolve, but I'm just saying, as in general, is like we kind of have a unique opportunity to have one record.
That is cool.
And come back and go, okay, that was one record, let's make the next one, and see what acceptance sounds like.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, because a lot of fans complain, like, they get their first, 2 albums, and then their band's like, whoa, we're getting older, or we want to explore, and fans get upset. But I love it when bands evolve. So that's going to be cool to hear from you guys. Speaking of, what can we expect from acceptance in the next year or long-term future?
Like we've said, we've been working on our record for over a year now, so we're putting the final touches on that at the moment. So we are hoping to have it out in the fall. I'm not sure. There's a lot of other T's to be crossed and I's to be dotted. But that's the goal, release a record, keep touring as much as 5 guys that are in their 30s that have careers can do, and just kind of see what comes. We're slowly piecing it together as we go. We're inventing it as we're making steps, you know what I mean? We're just kind of writing the story as we go. So.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that too as a fan, because rather than having a band completely disappear, even if they only come through your town once every 5 years and you get an album every 4 years, you're still with them. So I like that a lot.
Yeah, I think the goal would be to be able to see everybody, once a year or once every year and a half, or see people on a regular cycle. We're not going to come through, the area 4 times in a year like you would back in the day.
Right.
But you're going to make your way through and see people, and I think more importantly is the ability to make music and make more music, and because that's a really important part of this. Obviously, performing the music is very important, and connecting with your fans like this. But we want to make more music. We want to try and see if we can push ourselves to make a record and make more songs and kind of and see where that takes us.
Constantly create, since we can't really be on the road all the time, but we can. Writing a song is simple, that everyone's got GarageBand on their computers or Pro Tools or whatever. It's like, I have big Pro Tools in my house.
Right.
So it's a lot more, like back in the day, you would have to go into the studio to record a song. So
creating the song is simple. Writing the song, I don't know yet.
Right.
Yeah. You guys can tell us that.
And a lot of people are using the technology to send stuff back and forth to each other.
That's how we've written that. That's how we've written this record.
Right, and the new song too, right? Last thing is I like to end with a speed round. Don't think too much about it. I'm gonna throw a question to you guys' way. First thing that comes to your mind. One person you would love to meet, dead or alive.
This is supposed to be speed round.
Look at all these heavy questions for you guys.
One person you'd like to meet, dead or alive? I feel like this is a lot harder question.
Sorry, man.
No matter what I say, it's gonna be wrong. I think Bono would be mine.
Nice.
Dave Grohl, I think. I'd like to meet him. He seems like a cool
dude. Yeah, he does. One artist that you guys are loving to the max right now.
Artist.
Or band.
Who I really love right now?
Phil Collins.
Nice. Who am I listening
acceptance.
Pretty fried working on acceptance stuff nonstop.
Let's go with that though. Let's go with that. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Speed reading.
Superpower.
I would say invisibility.
Yo, you get away with so much.
Yeah.
Your favorite sport?
Football.
Football. Nice. Rocking the Mariners jersey, huh?
Well, I like baseball too.
Yeah.
Football's the one.
Last one, Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, or Stephen Colbert for late night TV?
I think I'm a Jimmy Fallon fan.
Fallon guy.
I liked Fallon. I like them all.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Colbert before.
Jimmy, tell Jimmy, Jimmy, you need to check out the new Acceptance record. He's a fan of the '80s, and he's gonna probably hear some stuff in here that he might like.
Yeah, what's up?
I listen to a lot of the '80s stuff.
Cool, man. Well, thank you guys again. I appreciate you guys' time on the side
Thank you so
tonight.
much.
Cool, man. Thank you.